Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Viktor Gyökeres is actually close to being an Arsenal player, man. I am so over the moon. I can actually get emotional over this. We're actually getting a strike, and it's Viktor Gyökeres, the guy that I've wanted since last year. Yes, please. Someone who can actually just score goals, someone who knows where the goalpost is, someone who has scored 100 goals over the last 2 seasons. That is so crazy, man. We're actually going to get him. So man, I'm over the moon. We have updates from Fabrizio, Romano, from David Ornstein, and this is the guy that many Arsenal fans wanted, and it's looking like we are actually going to get him. I am over the moon, man. This would be so exciting. It's been so long since we had a striker like this, and we just need something like this. I'll make myself clear. At the end of 2 seasons ago, after Martinelli scored 15 goals and Odegaard, I think, had 15 goals, that season I said we didn't need a striker. But at the end of the next season after that, I said we definitely need something different, and that something different was going to get a striker. We didn't do that. We didn't end up getting Šeško or Gyökeres or Isaac. We didn't get any of them, and we saw how we suffered last year. Our team is very good. I still say that even if Arsenal didn't sign anyone at all, we'd still be in the top 3 because our team is really good. But to go to the next level, to get to the final of the Champions League, to go to the first, to top of the table in the Premier League, you have to do something different. You have to keep on adding to your team. And we've tried everything. We've changed goalkeepers. Our defense is good. We've switched players. We've moved players from left back to right back. We've brought academy players into the squad. If that still doesn't work, you add midfielders. If that doesn't work and you've brought in new wingers and new number 10s, what is the only thing remaining? Getting a striker. So that is the only thing that we needed to do. Not the only thing, the main thing that we needed to do, and it's looking like we are going to do it, and I'm absolutely so excited. We played against him last year. Last season, we saw him playing against Man City. He's a very good striker, man. Let's be honest. He's scored those goals for Coventry as well. It's not just Portugal. And again, I make myself clear, I do not care if he's scoring those goals in Portugal. As I've always said, if you've been watching all the live shows, even if he's scoring those goals in Bolivia, I keep on saying this, even if he's scoring those goals in Canada, in New Zealand, in DR Congo, it does not matter where Gyökeres is scoring those goals. If you can score 100+ goals in 2 years, and not just 100 goals, to get almost 30 assists to go alongside that is absolutely crazy. So people might say he's not a good link-up player and all that, but this is a player that has picked up assists as well. Last season, he had 13 assists. The previous season, he had 15 assists, and that is just like in the league and cup games and all that. So this is a very good player. So I'm excited for him to join us. This is what Fabrizio's had to say. Arsenal are now getting closer to signing Viktor Gyökeres after a new round of talks in recent hours. Gyökeres will not return for training at Sporting as it's fully focused on leaving the club. Arsenal are now advancing. Nothing yet but discussions underway. Can I first just say about Gyökeres? I already love him. This guy has actually pushed for a move to Arsenal. He said, I do not want to go to Man United. That is his former manager there, Amorim. He could easily have said, let me just go to Man United and play for Amorim there, a manager that already understands me and all that. He didn't. He could easily have said, you know what, I'm not going to go to Arsenal. I'm going to wait for any other teams to come for me. Maybe in the next year, Kane will be leaving Bayern. I can go there. Maybe Barcelona, Lewandowski will be leaving. I can go there. I could easily have said, I'm going to wait. I'm not really keen on a move to Arsenal. But the moment you say you want a player, and the agent has a good relationship with your director, and the player wants to join you and he says, I do not want to go anywhere else, that also puts Sporting under a lot of pressure, because now they know that Gyökeres does not want to stay there. He wants to make the move to Arsenal, and that is so big for us. Finishing second is painful. But it also helps sometimes. This is one of the situations where it helps us ahead of teams like Chelsea and Man United, because these players, we can convince these players and tell them, listen, we finished second 3 times in a row. We've just been in a Champions League semi-final. We were so close to getting to a final. We needed something, and what we needed is a player like you, Viktor Gyökeres. You're the player we needed there. If you were there, if you even got us 18 goals last season, we could have been celebrating 2 trophies. And a player can be like, yeah, you guys actually don't have a striker, and I really want some. Funny enough, though, he also says he loves the Arteta project. So as much as some of you don't like Arteta, most of them usually say that they're joining us because they like the Arteta project. So that is great as well. At least they want to play for the manager. At least they want to play for alongside the players that we have. Because I'm not even just happy for us fans. I'm also happy for players that we have. Someone like a Saka. We don't have to depend on him every single game for 90 minutes to do something for us. No, we have a striker there to score goals. Odegaard, I tweeted last season, like around February or March, if we sign Gyökeres, Odegaard is going to get 15 plus assists next season. I'm going to stick with that. Those runs in behind, those crosses, even if Gyökeres doesn't score a lot of headers, he's going to score headers at Arsenal. He's going to be coached by Gabriel and Iov and all these guys. It's going to be exciting. So let's get through what everyone said first. That is what Fabrizio said, and then he followed it up with this. More on Viktor Gyökeres, big news. Gyökeres has reached total agreement with Arsenal on contract terms. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Gyökeres is going to join Arsenal. What? Gyökeres? 100 goals in 2 years, bro. We didn't have anyone who scored for us more than 10 goals last season, and we're talking about 100 goals in 2 seasons. And informed Sporting about his desire to join Arsenal. I already love Viktor Gyökeres. He's informed people that he wants to join Arsenal. No intention to discuss other options, only proceed with Arsenal as soon as possible. Deal well underway. I'm also laughing because, some people are saying it was fake news when we were talking about the podcast and his friends telling him on podcasts like, text me when you join Arsenal. It looks a bit funny. But yeah, it's actually true. They actually knew that he wanted to go to Arsenal. Those friends and teammates, they were telling him, text us when you join Arsenal. So that looks very, very amazing. Now, deal well underway, according to Fabrizio Romano. Viktor Gyökeres is going to join Arsenal. Okay, not completely done, but I would expect it now. All these guys reporting it. David Ornstein himself has had this to say. Arsenal in advanced talks with Sporting Lisbon of a deal to sign Viktor Gyökeres. Those words, the word advanced sounds so... the word advanced sounds so amazing when it comes to transfers. Advanced. That is almost like my favorite word in the world. Advanced. Yes, that's what you want to do. That is what you want to do. Advance in relationships and advancing deals with players like this. Transfer fee discussions continue, but personal terms in place on 5-year contract. 27-year-old is just getting into his prime as well. Sporting striker only wants Arsenal at start pushing for swift conclusion. Fantastic. You guys, again, some of you guys always tell me when I said does bad things, but you never tell me that when he's pushing for deals like this. Anyway, though, we are here to talk about Gyökeres, not at Saobata, but we'll talk about them as well. Arsenal are in advanced talks with Sporting over a deal to sign Gyökeres. A move for the 27-year-old striker is not done as discussions continue over the transfer fee. Personal terms are in place, and the Swedish international have been prioritized a switch to Arsenal for some time. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is pushing to have the situation brought to a swift conclusion ahead of his squad's return to preseason training. Gyökeres is one of Europe's most in-demand players after scoring 54 goals in 52 games, bro. 54 goals in 52 games. That is disgusting. You should actually arrest him for that. 54 goals in 52 games. I mean, it doesn't even matter if he's doing it in Portugal, man. Let's be serious. 54 goals. Even if you do that in New Zealand, I'll still want you to come to Arsenal. 54. And on top of that, it gets you another 13 assists. So almost 70 goal contributions in 50 games. That is so crazy, man. David Ornstein goes on to say that the Athletic obviously helped them win the league and the cup double. So you're not just signing a player who's in form, who's been scoring goals. We're signing a player who's, a winner as well. He's been winning stuff recently. The Athletic reported on March 30th that Arsenal were developing a strong interest in Gyökeres, who had been admired for some time by their newly appointed sporting director, Andrea Bata. Andrea Bata as well, I already love him, and that's why I said I'm going to wait until the end of the transfer window to judge what Andrea Bata has done. That's the only way, because even if he gets Madueke and he's still able to get Gyökeres and Rodrigo, still 10 out of 10 transfer window. He also goes on to say, last month, Sporting President Federico Varandas insisted the club had yet to review any offers for the striker, and he said his side will not succumb to blackmail and insults. He didn't have to get to all that, Mr. Sporting, man. We just want the player. We're going to pay you the money. Since joining Sporting from Coventry, by the way, at Coventry, he scored a lot of goals as well. So Championship is not an easy league, as we've seen. Gyökeres had scored 97 goals in 102 matches. Bro, that is crazy. I think if you combine all the Arsenal players, all the Arsenal forward players, their goals don't get to that. Gyökeres moved to English football in 2017 when joining Brighton, but made just 8 appearances. After loan spells with St. Pauli and Swansea City, then joined Coventry, where he scored 43 goals in 2 seasons. Again, still did very well in England. He goes on to talk about Šeško. We'll talk about Šeško, but let's finish with Gyökeres first. This would be exciting, man. There's so many reasons why this would be exciting for us. One, we've been signing a lot of players who, even Madueke, if we sign him, is going to be a player who He's not high on confidence. We're going to work on him. Let's see how he does. We're not too sure. Gyökeres, we are meant to be sure. I know not everyone wanted Gyökeres, that is fine, but if you look at the numbers, again, I don't care if it's the Portuguese league, he's been scoring the goal. So the goalpost in Portugal is still the same goalpost in England. It's the same size. It's not different. It's not bigger. In Portugal, you might play against tougher defenders. You might come up against Van Dijk. You might come up against Nathan Collins. There's no problem. You're going to come up against tougher defenders. That is fine. But that doesn't mean Arsenal don't create chances even in those tough games. We usually have a lot of chances in most of those games that we don't take. And Havertz is not a striker. He's been our top scorer last couple of seasons, but he's not a striker. That is a lot of pressure on him to ask Havertz go and score 2 goals for us today against Chelsea. Do that, although he scored against them. Let's use Liverpool as an example, not Chelsea. He can score 2 goals against us, score 2 goals for us against them. It's tough. If you ask Merino did a good job, but if you ask him, score for us 30 games in a row, make those runs in behind, know where to position yourself as a striker, all that is very difficult for someone who hasn't been playing in that position. But for a player who has been playing in that position for all his life, he knows where to position himself. He knows which kind of runs to make for Odegaard. He knows which kind of runs to make for Saka, which kind of runs to make for Martinelli and Trossard and Eze, whoever is going to be there. It's just super exciting, man. And, all those goals, he doesn't even have to score for me 97 goals in 2 years. If you just give me half of that in those 2 years, I'll be very happy, because we've not had anything like this since Aubameyang. And before then, it was Van Persie back in 2011. That's a long time. We've not really had a striker who can score this kind of goals, but Gyökeres can. So that's the update from David Ornstein. We'll talk about Šeško later and get through what David Ornstein had to say about it. Let's go to more updates on him. Arsenal informed Sporting of their desire to negotiate a deal for Viktor Gyökeres yesterday. The 2 clubs are negotiating on a fee around 60 to 70 mil plus add-ons. 60 million euros for Viktor Gyökeres. That is like 50 million pounds, guys. Getting Gyökeres for 50 million pounds, if you get him for 100 million pounds, the pressure is even higher on him, on the team, on Arteta, on all the fans that wanted Gyökeres to join Arsenal. It's a lot of pressure, because you're like, if it doesn't work, it's trouble. Because the striker that you're getting right now, it has to work. It just has to work. Simply has to, because we've delayed by a full season. Some would say we've delayed by 2 seasons, and now Liverpool is ahead of us. Man City weren't too far behind us, and they've added players. So you're competing against a lot of teams. You've seen how good teams like PSG have become in Europe. If you're going to compete with these teams, you're going to have to be in the next level. So getting a player like Gyökeres for 50 million, that is incredible business. That would be absolutely incredible. Again, if Andrea Bata manages to pull that off to get Zubimendi, we'll talk about Zubimendi on the other video, because it's been announced today. Welcome to us, Zubimendi, for 55 million in 3 installments. If you're able to get Eze in 3 installments and you're able to get Gyökeres for 50 million plus add-ons, incredible, absolutely incredible. I'd be over the moon with that. As they say, the deal will be closed soon, and Gyökeres will join Arsenal for preseason if everything goes well. Fantastic. Now, I remember I was so scared that Gyökeres would be playing for Man United the first game of the season against us. No, now we can actually look forward to Arsenal having Gyökeres playing against Man United in the first game. Imagine if he scores the winner. That would be amazing. So that is according to Bachi Laba. I think that is how you pronounce his name. Let's go to more updates on him. Hand of Arsenal says sources close to Viktor Gyökeres tell me he's desperate to finalize a deal. This guy really, really wants to join Arsenal, man. Sign him today. Bring him to Arsenal today. Bring Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal today, because he really wants to join us. We absolutely love players who want to join us. Sporting have given the Swede permission to delay its preseason. Talks ongoing in Sporting Lisbon at the time of reporting, as Arsenal attempt to secure a fee under 80 million euros. So that will be, they're saying 56 million pounds plus add-ons. So personally, for me, I can't even lie. When I first said I wanted Gyökeres, I said I'd be happy if we pay even 85 million for him. Pounds. So that is close to 100 million euros. I was happy to pay that for him. So for us to get him for 56 million pounds, that would be absolutely incredible, man. Even if he's been scoring a lot of penalties, we need someone to score those penalties. How many penalties did we miss last season? A lot. Sterling missed a penalty. Havertz missed a penalty. Odegaard missed a penalty. Trossard missed a penalty. we missed so many penalties last season, almost like 5 or 6 penalties that we missed last season. We need someone to score those penalties as well. Headers, if he doesn't score headers, he'll learn to. If he doesn't, we have so many people who can score headers. That is not Arsenal's biggest problem. Right now, we are trying to solve the things that you don't have. That is what we're trying to do. We're trying to add the things that you don't have. You already have a lot of people who can score headers. I know a striker has to score headers, but how many headers does a striker score in a season? Maybe 3 or 4. So we don't really have to have him scoring all of that. We already have a lot of people to do that. Gabriel can do that. Merino can do that. Havertz can do that. We have a lot of players who can score headers. No problem. We need someone who's going to make the runs in behind for Odegaard, get one-on-one chances, be confident enough to finish with his right foot, left foot, and his shot is so powerful as well. Viktor Gyökeres, left foot, right foot, either of them, international strike experienced, is a winner. He's played in England before, for Brighton, for Swansea, for Coventry. He's not new to England. He can speak the language. All that is a positive, man. And I think he makes players like Saka and Odegaard better as well. So I'm absolutely excited to see a player like Gyökeres joining Arsenal. Now, what has happened with Šeško? Because at the beginning of the transfer window, I said I want Gyökeres. That is the signing that I want. I wanted Gyökeres, Rodrigo, and Rogers. Those were the 3 signings that I really wanted. And I said for Rodrigo, it doesn't have to be Rodrigo. It can be Nico Williams. It can be Lookman, whatever. But I really wanted Gyökeres as my striker. Last year as well, I wanted Gyökeres ahead of Isaac. But I said I'm expecting Šeško to join Arsenal 80% of the time, 20% Gyökeres to join Arsenal, because Šeško is a player we've been talking to since last season. And we wanted him last year and in January, and we already made discussions with him. He basically had a gentleman's agreement that he's going to join Arsenal and all that. I thought it was definitely going to be Gyökeres. But recently, in recent weeks, it started to look like, does Šeško really, really want to join Arsenal? Does his agent really, really want Šeško to join Arsenal? Does, Gyökeres looks more likely that he wants to join Arsenal, surprisingly. Looks like Andrea Bata really likes Gyökeres, and it was starting to look like Gyökeres would be cheaper than Šeško, and that is something I've always said as well. If I think we're going to get whoever is going to be cheaper, so Gyökeres is the one who's going to be cheaper, and Šeško was going to be very, very expensive, more expensive than I thought he was going to be. So this is what Hand of Arsenal had to say. For the last 2 weeks, RB Leipzig have refused to negotiate lower than 90 million euros for Šeško. My goodness, these guys wanted 90 million euros for Šeško. Now, Šeško in the next 2 years, I know things could go. I know it might not work out. We might, in the next 2 years, we might look at Šeško the way we are looking at Isaac right now and tell ourselves, wow, why didn't we get Šeško? Look at him. He's gone to, I don't know, to a Man United. He scored 40 goals this season, 50 goals the next season, and he's growing up now. He's like 23, 24. There's a chance of that. But listen, you have to get the player who's ready. That's just the truth. Because right now, if right now we were in 2023 and we had just competed with Man City for the first time, league title and all that, if you sign Šeško at that point, it's fine, because you're not sure where you're going to be the next season. But after competing for it for 2 seasons and getting to a Champions League semi-final in the 3rd season and finishing second again for the 3rd time, you look at a player like Gyökeres and you say, yeah, that is a player who's ready. What if you sign Šeško and it doesn't work? Because I'm someone who also wants Arteta to stay at Arsenal, I'm always telling myself, if you really want Šeško and you sign Šeško and it doesn't work, it's big trouble. That could be curtains for you. So you have to, and in terms of strikers, we've always said that Arteta is not that great in terms of signing forward players. Andrea Bata is. If he wants Gyökeres and feels like Gyökeres is going to fit our team, he's done good jobs before at Atletico Madrid. He's helped them get into Champions League finals, a couple of them, win a couple of league titles. Let's go with his opinion. In terms of fitting the playing style, Gyökeres still gets a. I love a player who can get goals and assists. A striker who can get both, and Gyökeres gets both. He gets goals, he gets assists. He actually played against us last season, and there's a couple of times he went past our defenders. Was like, this guy is so powerful runs and all that. And this is the player that you really, really want, man. Experience, 27 years of age, that is his prime as well, and 100 goals in 2 seasons. You just have to get him. So I wasn't 100% keen on Šeško, but it came a point where I was like, just get one of them. Don't fail to get either of them. You have to get one of them. Let's not end up with plan C or plan D. Let's see. Arsenal had still been at least 10 million euros away from Leipzig's valuation on Benjamin Šeško, with the German club wanting 40 million of the release clause up front and around 40 million split over fewer installments. Okay, but I also heard that if it was going to be installments, Leipzig would have wanted even more than 90 million. So Andrea Bata specifically felt Leipzig's demands was too high a figure. A further issue that Arsenal hadn't agreed a final package with Šeško's camp for the players' terms, with the impasse lasting right up to last week. It is understood that Arsenal got increasingly frustrated with the pace of negotiations and with Šeško's camp, which has been a key factor in the evolution of their striker pursuit. Mikel are keen to avoid a drawn-out saga push for the club to explore other options more actively. Arteta wanted a striker in before pre-season properly started, which is one reason for the sudden advancement. That is according to Miguel Delaney. So Arteta wanted the deal to be done as soon as possible. That is great. We want the player to be here before pre-season. Even our pre-season games are tough. Newcastle, Tottenham, AC Milan, so Bilbao, Villarreal, all those games are not easy. But yeah, that figure for Šeško was too high. So it's looking like we finally know who we are going to have. It's going to be the right guy. The one on the right side, not the one on the left side, the one on the right side. It's the right side, right? I think you're looking at Gyökeres is on the right side, right? I don't even know how you guys are seeing it on screen. I believe it's right side for Gyökeres. So that's the guy we're going to get. And Fabrizio said that we might actually get a here we go today, not even tomorrow, the next day. We might get a here we go today. That would be exciting. Do we have any other update on Šeško? Andrea Butter believed that Leipzig's demands for Šeško are too high. Yeah, we've already gotten through that. But yeah, that is super exciting, man. Getting Gyökeres to Arsenal for 56 million, that would be great, man. I cannot wait, man. When was the last time we had like a proper striker there? It was Aubameyang, and even Aubameyang for the last 2 years he was playing as a left winger. So when was the last time we had a striker we can just pass the ball to, man? I'm so excited, so excited. We're actually doing the right things. I always believed in him. I was like, there's no way. The moment we appointed him, it felt like we wanted something different. It felt like we wanted something different. And I'm so happy they're not going to let me down, because I was like, if you don't get Watkins in January and you tell us that we are planning something different for the end of the season, and then you go and sign Watkins again at the end of the season, that would be so disappointing, man. And I'm hoping it works out. I'm really hoping it works out, and I'm confident it's going to work out. I just need half of those goals that he scored. I just need 25 goals. I don't need 50 goals or 60 goals from Gyökeres. If he can score more than that and get a golden boot or something, we've done something right there. So we already have a good defense. We have the best defense in the world, maybe alongside Inter Milan, the best defense in the world. And we have players like Declan Rice there who's been very, very good, and players like Sako have been very, very good. Add Gyökeres there, and we're actually still talking to players like Eze as well. This could be the best transfer window ever. How are you doing, Ake? Nice seeing you. As always, let me do this. I always forget to do this. Yeah, Luca. I know, Luca, you're always telling me in the comments it's not going to be Gyökeres, it's going to be Šeško. It looked that way, but recently, over the recent weeks, it has started to look like we're not going to get Šeško. So I was hoping that we're actually going to get Gyökeres, because if Šeško refuses and Gyökeres doesn't happen, we are going to plan C and plan D, which is not being great. But yeah, hopefully, for me, since we signed Declan Rice, I've changed in the terms of transfers. I've always felt like we can get these big players. Dan says, acting like a big club at last. I'm buzzing for the news. I'm over the moon, Dan. I'm so over the moon. And it's not that just the only player we are going to sign. We're also hearing that, we are trying to get the deal done for Eze. Rodrigo is deleting things concerning Real Madrid. That is nice to hear as well. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Big up to you as well, Ravi. What is happening to Nogard in Mosquera, says David. Nogard is already doing his medical. He's going to be an Arsenal player. Don't worry about that one. Mosquera, I think we're going to make a second bid, third bid maybe soon. But listen, I didn't care about the order of how we are going to sign players. As long as by pre-season, you have Gyökeres there and you have your winger there, that's fine. That's how I wanted it. Just get the player that you need before pre-season. I don't care about the order. But for Mosquera, for a defender, I said, listen, we don't have to sign a defender right now. Even if you sign a defender in August, that is fine. But yeah, there's a lot to do in this July. If Andrea Bat is able to do all of that, it's going to be great, because you still need to sort out Nwaneri. If you sign Gyökeres and you keep Nwaneri at Arsenal, and you sign Eze, and somehow you still manage to pull Rodrigo, bro, you can sign Madueke if you want. I'll feel like we've signed Ronaldinho. I'll feel like Madueke is Ronaldinho. I'll make myself think like Madueke is Ronaldinho. If you sign all of these players, you can even go and bring Nicholas Jackson if you want. You do know that is going to happen, right? Let's just talk to ourselves here. We know that is going to happen. I know Jackson is going to be an Arsenal player next season. The following season is going to be Nicholas Jackson. We're always signing Chelsea players, man. We should be used to that. Nkunku. Next time it's going to be Nkunku or Jackson. Listen, as long as you have Gyökeres there, I'm fine. Just pass Madueke, just pass the ball to Gyökeres. Just do that. Congratulations to us in advance, says David. Good news, says Ugochukwu. Mr. Glenn, I thank Andrea and I thanked even the board for signing Gyökeres. In fact, no Arsenal fans doesn't love Gyökeres. There's a few who still say it's the Portugal league. It doesn't matter. Portuguese league is easier. There's still people who say that, but I'm sure by the first 3 games or even by preseason, we are going to see how good Gyökeres is. I'm so confident on how he's going to do for us. I trust this player, says Victor. I trust him as well. I would rather Arsenal sign Gyökeres than Šeško. I think many people will agree with that. Kolapo. Here we go. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United should suffer next season. Let's look at Man City and Liverpool. Man United, not really on our level, but yeah, I know what you mean. We need to beat all of these guys for sure. But even, signing Gyökeres is exciting that he's going to go score goals in these games. But I'm not even really looking at Gyökeres to come and score goals against Chelsea and Man United. We already score goals against those teams. It is the Evertons at home and the Fulhams at home that we always mention, the Aston Villas. Those are the games that we usually struggle. So get Gyökeres those chances. And he's been scoring goals in the Champions League as well. He scored a hat-trick against Man City in the Champions League. I think he hit the post against us like twice or something. What about Nogard from Brentford when is Arsenal announcing him? I would say maybe next week. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday there. So maybe in the next 2-3 days, I'd say. What is a lot of people asking about Nogard and Oscar? This signing is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what you want at this moment. We are finally actually doing the right thing. That's as Dana said in the comments, we're actually acting like a big club again. Signing players like Declan Rice and players like Gyökeres. That is what you want to do, We don't care if these players are wanted by Real Madrid or Man City or Liverpool. Let's go and get them. Can't wait to hear. Here we go for sure. Enjoying the presentation. Much love from Zambia. Keep it up. Greetings to you all. Ghana says Douglas. Thank you for watching. Zubi Mendy, Nogard, Kepa, Eze, Gyökeres, Mosquera, and Rodrigo without selling Martinelli. I'll be satisfied with the transfer window, even if you won't sign Madueke. So I have a question for you, Ayub, though. Those players that you've mentioned, if we signed Rodrigo, Gyökeres, Eze, okay, if you had included Madueke there, because it looks like we are going to sign Madueke, unless we don't agree in terms of money with Chelsea, there's still a possibility we might not agree with them. I feel if Madueke is on that list as well, I feel like one player is going to leave, either Martinelli, Trossard. Nonere is on the list, but I don't think Nonere is going to leave. I still feel like Nonere is good. I don't think there's anyone who's going to be that crazy to sell Nonere to Chelsea. I'd like to believe the people we have in our board are not crazy to sell Nonere to Chelsea. So I feel like I would like all of them, but I don't know in terms of game time. I would trust that Martinelli ask for game time. We'd just be happy to stay at Arsenal, because if you have all of those players, you have Rodrigo can play on the left. You have Eze who can play on the left. All of a sudden, you have Trossard or Martinelli who can play on the left. That is like fourth. Madueke will be another player who can play on the left. So that will be a lot of players. But yeah, ideally, that is what I'd want to happen too. Get those players that you've mentioned and keep Martinelli and Nwaneri. That is what I'd want to happen too. Isaac says, very good signing, bro. Says, yeah, Isaac, say that. Why am I repeating myself? I'm so happy. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so happy you're getting Gyökeres. I agree, Luca, over the moon. Gyökeres over Šeško, anything, says Balai. Let's go. What great news, says Edie. Let me go now and take a cup of coffee. I'm very happy, Glenn, about Gyökeres. Welcome to us, so Gyökeres. So happy, man. The here we go is going to, I think I'm going to throw a party if the moment you hear that here we go. And it's so much. We're just talking about Gyökeres and Šeško in this one, but there's news on Rodrigo, there's news on Eze and all that. We're going to cover it in a different video, but if you're able to pull all of these deals off, man, I'll be so happy. And now I'm happy also thanks to Andrea Batinata. No more excuses, London forever, says Frederick. Yeah, if we get all of those signings, it's a lot of pressure for us to deliver. I do feel like we will deliver because our defense is good enough to defend. We create chances. We just need to score those goals. That is what has been affecting us a lot. And obviously things like transitions and all that. If you have players like Eze there, you're going to work on that as well. I'm happy everyone, Gyökeres is ours. I'm worried about the holding midfield. Without Partey, it ain't strong. We have to move on from that for sure. Hopefully Zubimendi does adapt immediately. You're welcome to a winning team where everybody is somebody. Yep, well done job. Well done to Bart and his team. I'm going crazy with the news. You can see everyone is so happy about Gyökeres, man. Like, yeah, this is the striker that we needed. Because the player wants to join Arsenal. The player is happy. Andrea Batin, I'm assuming, will be very happy to get Gyökeres. The fans will be happy. The players that are playing with Gyökeres will be happy. Like, everyone will be happy. Welcome to the Arsenal. Welcome to the home of football, Viktor. But is cooking a bomb. Is cooking, man. If he's able to pull those deals off for 56 million, 50 million, 40 million, I'm telling you, you can go and get Madueke if you want. Bring my boy Yoko, says John. Good news, says Goodman. Mlash says, is it real? It is more real than you think. But yeah, it's still in my head. I'm like, is it real? Yeah, I'm still going to wait for him to wear an Arsenal. I think Gyökeres is going to join Arsenal, but I still can't believe we're actually signing a striker. It's been so long. I can't believe that you're actually signing a striker. This is the kind of update I want to hear from you every day, says Harry. I wish you could have been talking about players like Gyökeres every single day. We actually were talking about Gyökeres every single day, but not as almost a done deal or whatever. Unbelievable news, my guy Glenn. Have you seen this done? Have you seen this tank? First, give your view. Not sure what you mean about that, Frederick. If you can type that again. I think Šeško might be unhappy with his agent, says John. I don't know what went wrong. I think the main thing is Leipzig wanting 90 million. And also the agent is not really pushing for the move that much. Šeško might want to join Arsenal, but the moment you started hearing about him wanting a release clause in the deal, I'm not sure about that. Glenn, thanks for the podcast. Imagine next on the radar as a central attacking midfielder along with Viktor, Gyökeres, and Saka on the right. Exciting, man. I already cannot wait for us to play Man United. Can we play that game today? And it's definitely going to be in my FPL team, Gyökeres, 100%. Gyökeres is the best for me, says Wisdom. Derek says Viktor Gyökeres is a prolific striker, and doubt about that. Can you just read his numbers again? Last season, 52 games, 54 goals, 13 assists. That is 67 goal contributions in 52 games. The previous season, he had 43 goals and 15 assists. And after that season, 23-24 season, people are like, nah, one season wonder. He cannot do that again. He came back the next season and scored more goals. 102 games, 97 goals, 28 assists. That is 125 goal contributions in 102 games. So basically, he's getting you a goal every single game, a goal and assist. And then he also managed to add more goals and assists. This is a player who's been scoring 3 goals in a game, 4 goals in a game. When was the last time Arsenal scored 4 goals in a game, one player? It's Sanogo and Arshavin, right? That is 2009. That's 2009 Arshavin against Liverpool. Even Julia, I think Julia Baptista did it as well against Liverpool. That is 2007 or something. That's a long time ago. We've gone like 15 years without anyone scoring 4 goals in a game. Derek says, I love Madueke, backup for Saka. Listen, if you get Gyökeres, Eze, and Rodrigo, you can add Madueke and Nicholas Jackson if you want. You can bring any of them. Bring as many as you want. I want us to have as many players as we want. We need a lot of players. We need quality, but also quantity, because they need us to back up these players. I don't want Gyökeres and Saka to play every single day. I want them to have other players to play. I think Trossard and Martinelli will be sold, and we might buy 4. I think one of them might go. There's still a chance it could be Trossard, but it depends. If Arsenal really want money, Martinelli can be sold for 70 million. You can only sell Trossard for like 25. So it depends. I'd look more likely to be Martinelli. Madueke with the Premier League experience, fine enough. But you do understand why people wouldn't want Madueke, because he's not on form at Chelsea, and it's another Chelsea player again. And obviously, you have to look at just last season, signing Sterling from Chelsea, how it went. There's always that fear of, again, another one from Chelsea, you know? If you want to play for Chelsea, go and get to Cole Palmer. I don't think people will complain about that, although Saka is still better than Palmer. But you can get a player like that, you know, a Pedro Neto, someone. But hey, if you sign all of those players, I wouldn't care if they sign Madueke. If you sign all the players that we need, you can bring whoever you want. The problem would have been if you didn't sign Gyökeres or Ez and then you just sign Madueke. That would have been a problem. So happy is a good signing, says Jack. Nwaneri isn't going anywhere. His agent does this stuff in the press every time. Hopefully, though, hopefully. I mean, I don't know how much Nwaneri can speak for himself or his parents or whatever. But if he really wants to stay at Arsenal, I really wouldn't want my agent to be like pushing that much for like to make it look like I want to leave my childhood club. Gyökeres is so good. Sell Martinelli, keep Trossard and Nwaneri, bring in Eze and Rodrigo. Even you just typing that, John, I'm already just smiling reading that. Gyökeres, Eze, Rodrigo. I'm crazy. The news for Gyökeres now. Arsenal is acting like a big team, says Emma. Wow, this is good. My brother, thank you for the good work, sir. You're welcome. Come on, there's so many comments. I'll not get through all of them, but yeah, we'll have more updates very, very soon for sure. There'll be a couple more videos coming up for sure, because there's a lot of news coming up. But yeah, if Madueke is going, let Nonere go. If Madueke is to let Nonere go, then no. Oh, okay, you're saying if Madueke is coming, meaning Nonere will go, we shouldn't do it. I don't think Arsenal went to Chelsea and said we want Madueke, we'll give you Nonere. I think we went to Chelsea to tell them we want Madueke, and then as we were about to make bids for Madueke, they were like, hey, by the way, we like Nonere. If you don't want Nonere, we can actually take Nonere. But I don't think there's anyone who has said that Arsenal are trying to sell Nonere or anything. No, I don't think there's anyone who's waking up in the morning and saying, okay, yeah, we want to sell Nonere to Chelsea. But we still need to negotiate his contract right now and get it done, because we've seen how crazy it is with the contracts. If you let it go to like even 1 year, I used to look at contracts back in the day, even not that long ago, even back in 2020, I'd look at the contracts. I'm like, this guy still has 2 years to go. That's a long time. There's no worry. But no, these days when it gets to like 2 years remaining, you have to start getting wide. You have to get these players, I'm so excited I can't speak today. You have to get the contracts done as soon as possible, because you never know. You never know if that player wants to join or to go to a different team. So I'm happy Gabriela signed a new contract. I'm happy Luis Kelly signed a new contract. Can we get those Saka and Saliba and Nwaneri deals done as quickly as possible, as soon as possible? We need them done very, very quickly. So Saka will stay. I'm 100% confident Saka will sign a new contract. I'm 90% confident Nwaneri will sign a new contract, and I'm 80% Saliba will sign a new contract. So I'm confident with all of them. The Martinellis and Trossards, I just don't know what is going to happen. But please, hopefully we can get to here. We go for Gyökeres as soon as possible. It didn't look good yesterday, because when you started hearing about Madueke and started hearing that you're going to make an offer, yes, you cannot worry. You cannot help but worry that, why do we take so much time to sign players like Gyökeres? But whenever we want a player from Chelsea, we just make the bid right away. Like we're already making a bid for Madueke. That's quickly. But we've not made a bid for players like Gyökeres. But if you're able to get Gyökeres and players like Eze, exciting, man. This is a happy Sunday to us. Continue the good job, says Vincent. Very, very happy Sunday. Imagine last season CL exited PSG, assuming he had Gyökeres on the front line. Yeah, we definitely don't lose that game, especially the home one where we missed a couple of chances. And you go into the second game more confident. And in the second game, we missed so many chances. Saka missed right in front of the goal. Rice missed a header right in front of the goal. There's someone else who missed a chance in that game as well. Come on, if you have Gyökeres in that game, he just needs to score one of those chances. Simon says, what is the plan with Eze? We'll talk about him in the next video, but they're saying that we've already had meetings with him. The player wants to join Arsenal already, so it's just about Arsenal deciding whether we want to pay that 60 million or we want to negotiate it. Listen, you can negotiate all you want. As long as by preseason we have these players, I'll be happy. So even if you sign Madueke today and you don't sign Eze today, as long as you get Eze by July 20th, I'll be happy. So I'm also looking at how much you're going to pay for Madueke, though. I don't want it to be like 50 million or something, because luckily we've been saving a lot of money when we've signed Kepa and signed we are going to sign Nogard. It's going to be a cheap deal as well. Who else? Mosquera is going to be less than 20 million as well. Obviously, Kepa was like 5 million. So we've been saving a lot of money, and we were told that we earned a lot of money in the Champions League, getting into the semi-final and finishing second 3 times in a row. And there's still that money that we didn't use. We sold Smith Rowe, we sold Nketiah. We never used that money. I don't think we did. And a couple of other players. We are still getting money for Tavares right now. We might still end up selling players like Nelson and Fabio Vieira. So, yeah. And Ramsdale as well. We sold him. We got some money there too. We never really used that money. So let's see how it goes. But I'm absolutely excited, man, that we're actually going to get Gyökeres. We might be live again very soon. If you get a Here We Go, we'll go live again and celebrate this Gyökeres signing. Oh, thank goodness we're actually doing the right thing. Thank you guys for watching, and catch up with you on the next video.